Look, man, Texas sharpshooter fallacy. That was a great exhibition of a Texas sharpshooter fallacy last night on 5150, done by Antoine. Now, I say in recent history, the greatest exhibition of a Texas sharpshooter fallacy was the Cat Williams interview on Shannon Sharp. What is a Texas sharpshooter fallacy? As I eat this apple. A Texas sharpshooter fallacy is when a person paints a narrative around a situation as their argument, and they frame the narrative, and they take a shot, right? They pose an argument, and they frame a narrative around the argument so they can seem accurate. Follow me. Again, Texas sharpshooter fallacy is when somebody poses an argument and they frame a narrative around the argument to make it seem like what they're saying is accurate. All right? Look that up so you can follow me. We with you. Okay, so bam. Last night was a cavalcade of illogical fallacy. You had two men who have opposing opinions. Both have justified opinions to feel that whatever way they want to feel. Antoine being a conservative, pushing the narratives he pushed, he has the right to do it. Corey being who Corey is, being a comedian with a comedic point of view. That's what a lot of people who are political don't understand about a comic. A comic's political point of view is personal. It's not political. So it's a personal point of view based on life experiences, and it's your interpretation of the world through your view. When you have somebody that's political, their worldview is really a microcosm of whatever political party they're subservient to. So that was the dichotomy. That was the difference. That was the minute difference in the messaging that was coming from both brothers. Corey is speaking his comedic point of view, his comedic point of view versus a political point of view. See, in politics, they always try to make the party's agenda supersede the individuals. If I was on the show, once I sensed that Antoine was speaking in Texas sharpshooter fallacy, I would have ended the show or stopped the conversation. Because now I understand that he has an agenda, and his agenda is not based in logic. It's based in a narrative. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the difference. People who operate and build from a narrative or within a narrative will not allow you to shadow that narrative, because that's the only thing they have to anchor themselves in a debate or a conversation. So you have to understand the agenda when you're in these types of situations. So Corey handled himself well, because I know Corey, right? Corey is if any disrespect, he's about that action. You know what I'm saying? So, but when somebody's running a play, you can't just be about that action, because if they're running a play, you could actually be carrying out somebody else's agenda by standing on something that's connected to your principles. Because when somebody studies you, they understand your principles, and they base the narrative around the triggers that would be markers inside the principles you have. For instance, if you're a Christian, or if you don't agree with a homosexual lifestyle, they will say things. It's called a dog whistle in politics. They will say things that trigger you and evoke a response that makes it seems like you're being emotional. That's why Antoine started being very direct and started being very accusational, because he was trying to trigger Corey. And it worked for a bit, but Corey caught himself and handled himself like a G. I hope they can get back together and do it more, Because at the end of the day, what we need in our community is not niggas that want to be right. We need niggas that want to push an intellectual agenda that furthers the common consciousness of everybody black. Somebody said lies. Look, I ain't told one lie. I'm speaking all science. This ain't my opinion. Look up Texas sharpshooter fallacy. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm wrong. So you got to understand something, man. Busters know how to gain power. You ever heard of Hitler? Have you ever heard of Hitler? Hitler was a buster that willed his way into power. You want to know Hitler's life? He was a failed artist. He was a sketch artist that used to draw bridges and nativity scenes and shit. And he was that weirdo that you would see at Venice Beach or at the boardwalk. And he would be drawing pictures trying to sell his sketches to people. And nobody fucked with Hitler. Then he reinvented himself. He reinvented himself. See, this is what I'm telling you, man. The rat, all that shit, I get it, man, but we having an intellectual conversation, right? When you use a term like a rat, explain to me what you mean. You mean it in a street way, like in a hood way? Because you can't apply that thinking to these types of niggas, man. Do your research on most cult leaders or most dictators or most people who rose to power and did some absolutely heinous things. These are people who willed their way into that position and dealt with a lot of rejection. So when you're dealing with somebody that has an agenda, they will sacrifice the greater good of themselves so one day they can position themselves to be able to tell you what to do and run your life. I'm telling you, you can't stop you can't just come with the buster bitch nigga talk, hoe nigga talk, rat, coon talk. You have to understand what's going on completely, even if it don't match how you feel. If somebody is dealing in narratives and speaking in fallacy, they're trying to evoke emotion to make you seem hypocritical and control people's view of you. But it ain't over, though. I hope it ain't over. I hope it ain't over. Man, look, man, it's so many great things that come from niggas putting their differences to the side and saying, okay, nigga, all right, let's do what we got to do. Now let's get back to the agenda. I already know Corey's thing is helping black people, helping black women and young men see the light. I don't know much about Antoine, but he says some things. I mean, we need that type of shit. Niggas shouldn't be scared of a little bit of conflict. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. That's what this shit is about. Every movement has conflicts, man. But respectfully, nigga, it's like, at the end of the day, two niggas standing on business, they stand on business. It is what it is. Now, I was all the way at station 1640 in Hollywood. Look up station 1640 in Hollywood. I had a show that started at 10, right? I'm on my way from my crib. It's about 9:05. I turn on the show, they arguing. I hear the dude say my name and call me a yes man, right? Then I see it getting heated. I pull up to my show. I say, you know what? Fuck that. I'm going to the studio. So I drive from Hollywood to Pasadena, nigga. I wasn't supposed to be there. Hopped the gate. When I pulled up, I blocked the entrance so he couldn't get out. I hopped the gate, but he was already gone. He was already out of there. So I pulled up, had a couple homies tucked in the corner, waiting on that action, boss. I pulled up. You know what I'm saying? What's up, mainline? And then I got my ass back to my show. See, let me tell you something, man, about this comedy game, man. I'm a comedian. I got my own career. I push my own line. I got things I want to accomplish for me and my family that have nothing to do with 5150. I'm a part of 5150. I'm a diehard 5150 guy. But when I heard Antoine attacking the brand, I didn't appreciate that, man. We talking about a legend in Corey Holcomb that sacrificed a lot and experiences a lot of controversy for having the heart to speak how he feels, regardless of what people think about it. You know what I'm saying? So when that nigga said I was just happy to be here, I laughed because, look, I'm a comedian. Anybody that really do comedy know Corey Holcomb is one of them niggas. It's an honor to do 5150. I'm not on 5150 to make it my show, nigga. That's Corey's show, nigga. I'm there to be a compliment, you weird-ass nigga. But I love to debate you. I love to debate you. You got to play your position on whatever team you on. It's called alignment, exactly. You can't be out of alignment and call yourself a man. It don't work like that. I got my own ship I'm building right here. I got my own studio I'm sitting in right the fuck now, nigga. I ain't no status-driven nigga where I feel like I got to step in every situation and make it my shit and dominate. That's some whole shit to me. I mean, but, you know, I pulled up because I wanted to have that conversation face. And I had never really heard of dude. I seen him online and shit here and there, but I really don't follow dude like that. I didn't know what he was on. When Corey said he was going to have him on the show, I didn't know. I didn't know nothing about the dude. We don't got nothing in common. You know what I'm saying? But he wants to smoke, he can get it. I want the debate. Come on, Kraig Facts, man. I'll kill you off. Yeah, man, we got to understand, man, when something is agenda-based and something is based in illogic, you gain nothing from giving that attention as far as your emotion is concerned. Once somebody is speaking illogic, you got to let them have that. The hardest thing is for us to just let it go. You know what I'm saying? Because it triggers us. People who ain't on shit know how to trigger people in order to gain their attention. Men, you go through this all the time with scumbag bitches. You know, you do everything right for a chick, and then once you don't do one thing right, you all kind of bitch-ass niggas, and you ain't shit, and you got a little dick, and you know how I get. That's the same type of shit. But yeah, man, that was an interesting thing. I got so many calls and so many, look, I don't crash out for nobody. So even me pulling up last night wasn't no crash out. I'm my own motherfucking man. You know what I'm saying? I don't crash out, but what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. You feel me? So respect is number one. You know what I mean? I got a family, nigga. I got places to go in life. We all got limited time. You feel me? You know, so, you know, stick to your shit, man. You know, it was a bunch of shit. Ad hominem was very present. That's when instead of sticking to the argument, somebody focuses on a flaw. You know what I mean? So it was very agenda-based. Shout out to Corey. Anton, y'all need to run that back. Run it back with me if you like. I would love to do that. Man called Corey racist. Right. You can't be racist if you're not white. I mean, that's a power structure thing. But look, this is why Neely Fuller said black people shouldn't even be around each other. We shouldn't even be around each other until black people shouldn't even be around each other unless they understand white supremacy. That's why you need to buy that United Compensatory Code book and guidebook by Neely Fuller so you can get a better understanding of the 9 principles of racism. And sex is one of them. More questions. I'm fielding questions. Let's go. Anybody want to chop it up? Ask questions. I'm answering. I want all the smoke. It's structural. You know what I'm saying? It's structural. It has a blueprint, man. They built this shit like you build a building. If you want to tear a building down, you can't go yell your opinion in the direction of a building and make the building fall. You have to tear the building up from the foundation. You have to demolish it. Opinions don't demolish things. Opinions bounce off walls. I feel. I think you should. I don't like when you. Those are opinions. You a bitch. You a buster. Those are opinions. You're a rat. That's an opinion. Do some concrete shit.